You're listening to the Beats and Bars podcast hosted by BATTL Beats. This podcast is out there to shine a light on the most slept on and underrated rappers and producers.
It's BATTL, baby.
Hey, what's up? It's BATTL Beats here with the Beats and Bars podcast. I am joined today with a very special guest, We Skeem. Give us a shout out, We Skeem.
Hello!
That was good. Okay, so if you don't know We Skeem, he is a YouTuber, a reactor, a musician, producer, overall really talented guy, and I'm really happy to have him on the podcast because I think he's got a really cool story. First off, we are going to start with a quick fire round, and these are just 6 questions. You just got to say either or the other. Is that cool with you, We Skeem?
That's cool with me, but my stupid iPad just made you disappear.
Oh, yeah, you're back.
No, I see you now. Okay.
Cool.
Sorry.
Okay,
Sorry
so
to
I've got
interfere.
it's cool. I got a quick fire round. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready for it.
Okay. Biggie or Tupac?
Tupac, West Side.
Jay-Z or Kanye?
Kanye because of the producer skills.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
I respect the producer grind.
Yeah, I do as well. Eminem or 50?
Eminem.
Sweet,
Lyricism.
Sweet popcorn or salted popcorn?
Sweet popcorn or what?
Salted popcorn.
Salted with butter.
Ooh, I've never had that before. We just have sweet in the UK, so I'm just all about the sweet. KFC.
You want that buttery stuff on it.
You
Artery
do.
clogging, USA style.
All right. Where is it you from again? Is it LA?
I'm from LA, but I live in the Midwest right now.
Fantastic. Good stuff. Right, so 2 more questions. KFC or McDonald's?
KFC.
And then last quick fire round question. Boom bap or trap?
Boom bap.
Nice.
Screw trap.
Yeah. I mean, I like them both. I like boom bap because there's real drums in it and it's just got a bit more of a groove, but that's a completely different discussion. All right. So
Yep.
You've been doing music a long time by the sounds of it, but what would you say got you into rapping?
Let's see. Rapping in particular. I've dabbled in rap, mostly comedy rap, for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Going on 16, 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
The first induction into anything serious rap-wise happened when I was still living in Los Angeles. I would go to Long Beach, and they had like freestyle competitions.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a big purist that freestyle should mean off the dome with maybe a couple of writtens to supplement the off the dome stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like when someone labels something as a freestyle and it's all written. That's always kind of a pet peeve of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that word today is used to mean low production value on something instead of actually a freestyle. But that was kind of where the first time I did anything serious with it. But even that, battle rap is very tongue-in-cheek when it's the real stuff, not the YouTube version of it. It's 2 guys trying to insult each other as best as they can, and then they hug it out afterwards. What's interesting in the YouTube scene is a lot of these people actually don't like each other because of the drama and because they never meet face to face and they don't respect each other. And it's weird, which is why I usually avoid most of the YouTube diss scene.
Yeah.
But that's where I kind of got started. And then I wasn't doing rap for a while, aside from the production side. I was producing beats and melodies. As some people know about me, some of the melodies that I made were used in Juice WRLD songs. I can't really disclose like which ones or how because of NDAs that were signed, non-disclosure agreements that were signed going in.
Mm-hmm.
But that was just kind of the scene I was in. And when I decided to launch We Skeem, this persona and this idea of an alternative hip hop and rap, that was actually motivated primarily by Kamikaze, Eminem's album Kamikaze, and then Crypt. The reason for that is because of the company I keep at my current stage in life. I didn't even realize that mumble rap had become a thing. I thought it was just like a SoundCloud niche. And then I realized it was actually semi-mainstream because of Kamikaze, Eminem's response to that sort of rap culture, and then Crypt breaking that down. And then that led to the MGK diss, and all that exploded. And it just kind of inspired me to be like, it seems like there is a scene within the YouTube underground with guys like Crypt and all this that have at least an open mind to weird alternative hip hop, the stuff that maybe 21 Pilots would mess with,
Mm-hmm.
ICP, Insane Clown Posse, and Hollywood Dead back in the day. And those are things that I thought no one really had interest in that much anymore. And so We Skeem kind of came out as far as the genre I went for as
Mm-hmm.
a response to people wanting lyrical, weird stuff, some
Mm-hmm.
people. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. There's a lot more to it, but that was kind of one of the main paths that got me
Mm.
there.
So, is the only musical projects that you do at the moment We Scheme, or do you have any other side projects that you work on?
Most of my other side projects, I just kind of faded out as this one has grown so much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm letting this consume my time now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've kind of phased out the other projects, and some of those projects are projects that I've had going for a dozen years or so, but they only had a small following. Most of my exposure into any main markets was when I was producing for other people as a ghostwriter or a ghost producer.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, like early college age, I had some projects that had label interest, but they fell through. So this has been musically or entertainment wise my best brand, which comes from a lot of experience knowing how to market it, knowing how to push it, understanding that reactions are going to be more valuable monetarily than or crowd size than music, but the music and my personality is going to be more valuable monetarily, because those are the kind of people that will actually invest in your channel financially, are the people who are really behind what you're doing rather than just reacting to stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's been very, very calculated, but it has led to me dismissing my other projects.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's good. I mean, go where the supply and demand. You're demanded by the Scheme followers on YouTube, and I want to get more into your your growth on YouTube in a minute. But I think it's
Yeah.
really good that you are focusing on that, because you're seeing results. And a lot of the time, I notice that a lot of people might have a lot of different things going on, but when something's really popping off, like you are, and you did significantly, it was good that you focused your energy on that, and seeing your channel posting more regular videos and more regular songs and things. It was really good for engagement. But I remember a time when you only had 1,000 subscribers, and it wasn't that long ago. And now, how many
That was
subscribers do you
November.
have? November. Oh, geez, long time ago.
I hit 31,000 yesterday.
Oh, wow.
And I
Fantastic.
was at 1,000 November, which is what, 6-7 months ago.
Mm-hmm. And I remember it was that's when you broke 1K. That's when you released your first album, right? As We
Yeah, I
Skeem.
had planned to release my album at 1,000, self-titled album We Skeem. I had worked on it for about 5, 6, 7 months at least. Because my YouTube channel actually didn't start until my first upload is when the channel started. February 15th of last year was when I started the We Skeem channel. I had tested if my music would be any good prior to making the YouTube channel. I think probably the first We Skeem thing ever uploaded, it's been deleted. It was on like a SoundCloud, and some of Crip's early live stream reactions when Crip was, I think, still under 100,000 subscribers. I sent him some of my music that wasn't even on YouTube at the time, because I hadn't started a YouTube channel. So I haven't been doing this very long as We Skeem. What you'll notice, you talked about the growth trend. When I hit 1,000 subscribers and I released the album, one thing I had planned for a while, and I talked to McGuire about this as I was planning it, McGuire Music, that if this thing started to take off, I would introduce the genres that my side projects have done into the We Skeem brand, which is why you get songs like Lies, which is an alternative rock song featuring Blindsight for a rap verse. You get a lot more. You got the whole album Bling, which had a very weird variety of music. You get my Untitled songs, which is just me on a piano. So essentially, I dismissed the side projects like you talked about when this thing blew up, but the energy I'd put into those, I just put into alternative content under the We Skeem label.
Yeah. I mean, I was listening to music earlier on today, and I did definitely notice a big difference and a lot of versatility, which I think is good to have as an artist, because you're not just, I mentioned in my previous podcast with Wyatt that there's a lot of rappers out there that are just doing the same flow on the same type of beats with auto-tune, and it's just kind of boring. And it's nice to hear someone who's talented doing a variety of different stuff, you know. And I think that's, you know, when I was listening to your music today, I was loving the song Normal off your original album,
Yep.
your self-titled album, and then I saw that you had an acoustic version as well, and I just thought that was really, really cool that, you know, you've done an acoustic version
Yeah.
as well, and it's you know, a lot of variety. What was the main motivation with your self-titled EP? Because I remember it being you know, very important to you, and it was kind of a big deal for you to do it as We Skeem. So can you just go into the album a little bit?
Yeah, so the self-titled album, and it's funny you bring up Normal. That song was the hardest one to make and the one I knew would have the most impact on the album, and it did. It's been the one that's been very much the most popular on streaming services. It gets a
Mm-hmm.
bit more attention than it does on YouTube. But it's been the most popular song from that album and still my most played song. And then, yeah, I made the acoustic version a year after the song released.
Mm-hmm.
The originally released, because the album came out in November, but Normal originally released well before, because I knew it was going to be part of the album.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was April or something. But my mindset going into the album, making it self-titled didn't have a lot of depth to it. I was going to make it called Music for the Lost, but I just decided, let's just keep it simple. That way I could just have a clean album cover of just me pointing. We Skeem, one of the meanings to it is we think. So it's an idea of thinking together, getting through these ideas. And the album was just trying to be a reflection of some main ideals, as well as kind of a counter to a lot of the rap culture you were talking about. Now, I'm a guilty user of auto-tune because I like the sound, but probably not in the same way you're describing earlier.
No, definitely not the same way. No.
But the song kind of takes you through that journey. It starts with Flowetry, which is basically setting the stage that this is not a rap album. I say this isn't hip hop, it's called Flowetry. And then I have a couple of songs. I've got Cali Sun, which is just kind of setting the stage. That's like, this is kind of about, there's depression and mental health, because one of the biggest themes of my music is mental health. Another big theme of my music is just say what you mean and mean what you say, even if that hurts people's feelings. So I have two songs, one called Offensive, followed by JKLMNOP. Offensive is a song saying that even if you make a joke about something, people are going to get really upset about it. JKLMNOP is a very Eminem from the 90s inspired song, throwing extreme shade at the transgender community, not because I'm transphobic or have any issue with that community, just because people are so uptight about saying anything about that group that I want to just kind of poke that hornet's nest and be like, look, if you want people to be able to discuss things reasonably, you have to be able to joke about things and talk about things openly. And that is a topic that I don't think our culture is comfortable joking about, which is why I think we're not making any progress with it. And we're actually trying to like demonize jokes in general. So the entire concept of the album and everything was, I just kind of wanted to set the stage of who am I, what are some of the things I believe in. And then the final song on the whole thing is called Amen, which is kind of my views on religion and God and things like that, where I just kind of say, look, there are reasons to believe in a higher power that are scientific. I'm not going to tell you what to believe, but I really think you should have an open mind about those things as well. And you know, I think about people who are very closed off against religion because they've been hurt by religion or God or whatever else. And it was kind of just an olive branch to those folks as well. Like, hey, it's okay to think about these things logically and still come down to the conclusion that there might be more to life than what you see every day. So the entire album was very much expressing who I was, what I believe, and trying to connect with people on that level. I stuck mostly to one type of genre. Normal, the most popular song on there, is really the crux of my message in most of my music, which is addressing mental health issues. But yeah, that's kind of the long and short. Everything I did in that album was very deliberate and planned. One of my favorite songs on there, just for fun though, is On Fire with Blindside, which is just a goofy ass song.
Yeah, that's good. So as a rapper, you know, you've collaborated with a lot of really cool people. What would you say is your favorite feature that you've done? That's for someone
that
else.
I've done on someone else's song, or
Yeah,
that
that you've done
they've
for
done
someone
on
else. Yeah.
I've done a lot of features on other people's verses, so not as much lately. I think people are like afraid to ask me for a feature anymore just because of my sub count. They kind of forget that what you see is what you get with me. If you ask me for a feature, I'm just gonna ask you if the song's any good, and if it is and I like it, I'm gonna go on it. I still don't charge for features because I make enough money doing other stuff. So if I don't want to be on the feature, I'm just going to say no.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't made it like part of my marketing. And I think that's also because I don't really use like a rap voice. So I don't imagine me being on your song is going to boost you that much. So it's not a good investment on your part. So I think I might have charged for a feature here and there, like once or twice in weird situations, but just not something I do by practice.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite feature that I was invited on and did, oddly enough, it's probably the ones where I did more singing than rapping. I
Mm-hmm.
really liked the feature that I did with Jekyll,
Mm-hmm.
because I did kind of a Linkin Park-esque chorus and then a verse. I did two features that were Jekyll involved that I liked that he had me sing. One was Inner Demons,
Mm-hmm.
and I did the hook of that song, but I didn't have a verse, so that was kind of a bummer. But the other one I did with him, which I could probably quote every lyric to it right now, but the name of the song escapes me. But it's a song about like bullying and
Mm-hmm.
suicide, that I did a hook and a verse on. So those two are probably my favorite because they were in my wheelhouse of what I like to talk about. They were both songs about mental illness, and I
Mm-hmm.
got to sing on them, which I very much enjoy doing.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. I remember DIT hit me up to remix one of his songs, Nobody, and
Yeah, that's a good song too.
you did a feature on that, which I really liked, and I had the stems from him and from you, and I just loved that there was a lot of depth in the stems, and you'd covered almost everything. You had dubs, you had ad libs, and there was just really nice warmth to the vocals. And I remember remixing that track, and that was really really good fun. I really liked that
Yeah,
one.
I forgot. There's like I said, there's so many I've done. I really love that track. I remember listening to it on repeat for a
Mm,
while after DIT dropped, and then he showed me the remix, and I enjoyed the remix you did as
mm,
well.
yeah.
I'm sure there's other features I've done that I'm not thinking about right now, but I've enjoyed doing
Hmm.
those.
That's cool. So obviously you managed to get 1,000 subs, which is awesome, and then you started reacting to epic rap battles of history. So
Oh
just
yeah.
tell us how that went.
So the first time I reacted to anything was because Jekyll and JAA were hounding me to react to something, and they're like, "You would make a great reactor." I was like, I don't want to put this on all the time. That was never a plan of mine. It was supposed to be not seen very often when I came up with this persona. But they
Yeah.
just kept saying, look, we talk to you every day. People would like to hear what you have to say.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually, the way I got into ERB reactions was before I was at 1,000 subscribers. I think was the first one I did, but they they released the Sigmund Freud versus Mother Teresa. It was a new
Yeah.
one that had come out, and Crypt reacted to it, and I was like, wait a minute, I didn't know reacting to ERB was a thing. Like I literally say that in the video. I didn't know that this was allowed in the reaction community. I didn't know people would care to see someone
Mm-hmm.
react to an epic rap battle history. It's nothing I'd ever considered until I saw Crypt do it. But I was like, what the hell? I'm doing reactions now. Why not? And the video did moderately well. It wasn't like insane, but I was like, okay, people like this. I guess I'll do it again. So when they released another ERB, um, the next one after that was like the Vlad the Impaler versus Dracula. I reacted to that one.
Mm-hmm.
And people just kept saying, react to the other ones, react to the other ones. I'm like, I've seen them all. Like, I don't remember them, so I guess I could react to them, but I've seen them. I'm not going to react to them. Because at the time, it just didn't make sense to me.
Yep.
Then I knew Joker versus Pennywise was coming out, and I planned that reaction very deliberately because I knew that that could be a channel booster.
Mm-hmm.
So I kept track of when it would come out. I talked about it coming out on my channel. I built hype for it. During that reaction, there were multiple times where I encouraged people to discuss the reaction because I know comments boost the algorithm and things like that. But what I didn't anticipate happening that really blew that video up and put me on the ERB path was that Epic Lloyd under the ERB channel would comment on it, which when you have a channel that big comment on your video, YouTube's going to recommend that video a lot more. It's just how the
Mm-hmm.
algorithm works. So when you have the original content creator with tens of millions of subscribers commenting on the video, that video is going to pull up in people's feeds as recommended. It's still the most viewed video on my channel. And then it blew up. Like that's what people wanted. I had an entire new audience within a month. I gained over 10,000 subscribers,
Mm-hmm.
then 15,000, and it's tapered off, but I'm still at a point where I get almost 100 subscribers a day, and now they're not just coming for ERB content because now my channel's higher in YouTube's mind of algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
But it all just started because Epic Lloyd, who is a big fan of reaction channels in general, decided to leave a comment saying that he appreciated what I was doing, and that just blew it up. And then I decided, you know what, people really want this, so I do react to ones that I've seen now, and I'll let people know at the start of them. Either I don't remember this, so this will be pretty much a genuine reaction unless something triggers in my mind, or I know this one, so we're just going to break down the bars. And either way, people seem to enjoy it. So I'm going to do it until I run out of their catalog.
Mm-hmm.
And the good thing is I've grown an audience to watch other things enough that once I run out of their catalog, aside from new ones, then the channel
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't die.
Yeah, that is good. That is good. So, what would you say was the thing that motivated you where in the earlier days? So, we're going to go back to when you just started.
Uh-huh.
You'd done all of your old projects. You'd done your stuff with Juice World. You'd done the other stuff, and then you started. You put the mask on for the first time. You released We Skeem. You're like, right now, this is it. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm going to focus on. What was it? Because I think this will be inspiring for the underground guys that are listening. What would you say was the motivation that kept you going?
The motivation that kept me going was not focusing on me. Because if I focused on myself and my numbers,
Mm-hmm.
I would have driven myself crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes from age and experience, knowing that these things take time and being willing to wait. I didn't expect it to be this fast, but sometimes you get lucky and Epic Lloyd comments on your stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're not always going to get lucky. I think I would still eventually have gotten to this growth in a longer timetable that I planned following what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at my channel, if you look at some old, like Crypt Cypher 2 came out right around when I started my channel, the auditions for it. And that's how I met a lot of these guys who, we've been in group chats with and stuff like that. I met them through the audition process for Crypt's second YouTube cipher. And there's something I did during that cipher that kind of exemplifies something that I've always done in life and always done with this channel, which was I made it a point to find every single audition video, watch it from front to back, and leave a genuine comment. Every single one. Not like just spamming, oh, great thing, check out mine. I never once in any of those comments mentioned that I even did an audition. Like, I didn't even let people know that I did. I just commented on what they did because I wanted to focus on other people who were in the same position I was, because it motivated me to know that I wasn't in this alone. And the best way to feel good and keep wanting to be motivated is to spread good energy to other people. So I was just commenting, say, look, this is what I like, or this is where I think you can improve. Good luck, blah, blah, blah. And that was how I got to my first 100 and 200 subscribers, because people then, a few of them were just curious who I was, saw what I was doing, subscribed. And, what you put out into the world comes back to you. It's very true.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what motivated me, was instead of just focusing on the fact that I can hardly get 100 views, yeah, I would vent about that in a song or something to get those emotions out. But as far as my actual work ethic, it was all about everyone else. That's tapered off somewhat, but not completely. I just don't have time to give that kind of energy to everybody around me. But you'll
Mm-hmm.
still see, I'll post community posts from smaller channels who react to my stuff. I comment on people's videos all the time still. That's what I do with my free time. On Twitter, I'm always replying and responding, and I don't look at how big these other people are. I'm just interacting with people, building people up, because for me, what keeps me motivated is motivating other people to keep doing what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know what I'm doing will take care of itself if I'm doing what I should be doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really good. That's really good to not focus on yourself and to focus on other people. I think that's really good advice, man. So, have you got any music coming out soon that you want to tell us about?
Um, I'm so since I released that album and then my EP Blink afterwards, I've been so ADHD with music. Though I don't have any solid plans right now. I have a couple album ideas in my mind that might be coming out. I really exhausted myself on doing a remix of Crypt's entire Cypher 3, like all 12 minutes and 40 seconds of it in a day. Um, I think I'm going to be releasing a song where I actually try to do a rap voice soon, because that's something that people have been asking me to do, is what do you sound like if you're actually trying to sound like a rapper, because I never really try to sound like a rapper.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I might have a project. The album that's in the lead right now is going to be an album called Cancelled, where I just kind of do a centrist view on controversial topics and just kind of try to get people to think outside their comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, nothing really firmly planned. I've been releasing a lot of music lately. So instead of focusing on an album, I've just kind of been keeping up like, hey, here's a video. Hey, here's a video.
Hmm.
So I think whenever I do get around to an album, I'm pretty excited to see what people think. I had been thinking I would release my next album not until I hit around 50,000 subscribers, and until then, just release singles.
Hmm.
That's what had been in my mind.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think releasing singles as well keeps the motivation and keeps the hype going. Because if you release an album, it's like 8 or more songs, and they might have to wait
Yep.
longer to listen to that. Whereas releasing singles every few weeks or once a month or something like that keeps people's like thirst for your music
Yep.
there, and I think that's really good.
Consistency without oversaturation is very important.
Hmm.
You don't
Definitely.
want to release 7 songs a week, but you want to release stuff consistently. On my channel, my kind of rule of thumb is I don't want to have more than 2 songs come out in a week, even if I have more than 2 songs done.
Hmm.
But I want a video every single day, so I just do other content. So content creators that are trying to grow, I always tell them, like, first of all, upload as many times as you can in a week, but maybe not multiple times in a day until you have an audience. You're just going to burn yourself out. If you record a bunch of stuff, just separate it out and release it at the same time every day.
Hmm.
And then the other thing is comment on other people's channels, genuinely watch their stuff and comment. You'll get the engagement. You just have to be consistent and make sure you're always taking feedback that's not coming from a negative place to make your content look better.
Hmm.
And if you're an artist, don't oversaturate your own music. Don't release a million songs. Release 1 or 2 a week. Keep them actually wanting more music instead of feeling like they can't keep up with how much you're releasing.
Hmm. That's a good idea. And is doing your We Skeem YouTube stuff your full-time gig, or are you also hustling around a job as well?
I have a job, my day job, but I imagine when I look at it, if this channel got to about 250,000 to 500,000 subscribers, that's about when it would take over my full-time job based on the kind of amount of revenue I get per subscriber. Like when I do the math and stuff, I'm very much an analytical, here's the spreadsheet kind of guy. It's gotten to the point though where my wife has gone from full-time to part-time,
Hmm.
and we're probably only a couple months away from her not working anymore. So it's essentially becoming, yes, a full-time income, but because I'm in a situation where we need 2 full-time incomes to really live the way that we're living,
Hmm.
uh, rather than just have it be my full-time job, my wife and I preferred the idea of her just not having her full-time job so she could be a full-time stay-at-home mother. So that's one of the reasons that it hasn't taken over my full-time job yet, is because our priorities are a little different than me just quitting my job, because I
Yeah,
actually like my
definitely.
day job.
Hmm.
I mean, I enjoy what I do, so I'm not like desperate to leave it.
Mm. I think that's a good idea, as well as I really enjoy my day job. And if I when eventually when I get in the position of being able to do music full time, I really think I'd, because I work in events and I enjoy what I do. I think I'll say to my boss, look, I can still bail you out when when you've got a busy weekend, or because I enjoy it. I wouldn't want to leave them out to dry. But I think that's really cool that you've let your income from YouTube sort of substitute your wife's half of her income, because you got a
Uh,
kid, and I value family, and I think it's really really cool that you've done that so she can stay at home. You must be pretty tired though, after a week of just the grind, right?
I work about 87 hours a week between YouTube and my other job. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's tiring, but there's not a bit of it that I do that I don't enjoy, and that's extremely important. I think it's cliche, but it's true. When you like what you do, you don't work a day in your life. You work, but it's not the same. Like, I've had jobs I hated, and I always tell people there are other jobs. Right now, it might be a little different with all this boomer doomer nonsense, but when stuff like this blows over, if you're in a job you hate, leave. You will find another job. Like, if you want to find another job, and you're wasting your whole life at a job you hate. I had jobs I hated. I left. Now I'm in a job I like, and my quality of life is so much better. Like, that's not YouTube or rep related, I know, but seriously, there's so many people on this grind who I talk to every day who just hate their jobs. I'm like, freaking quit. You can find another job.
Mm.
Like, don't waste your life doing something you hate, because you don't know how much of your life you have left. Don't waste it.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, man, I think that's we're coming to the end of the podcast interview. So thank you for joining and answering some questions. I think the listeners are going to really enjoy it. But if you are wanting the guys to go and check you out, whereabouts can we go and check you out?
Best place is YouTube. YouTube.com/We Skeem will take you to me. Really, any of the major websites /We Skeem. No one had that name. WESKEEM. Twitter/We Skeem. Instagram/We Skeem. YouTube/We Skeem.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find me in WeSkeem.com. Anything with We Skeem, you'll find me. YouTube is usually the place I'm most active. I have a Discord. I'm somewhat active, but that's where you can find me. And if you want me to talk your ear off like I just did to BATTL, sometimes I do this on Discord. I'm a talker, obviously.
Cool stuff. So thank you, man. I think what we're going to do now is just play a short clip of one of your songs. So guys, go and check him out. He also has merch. So go and buy his merch. He's got some really cool designs on there as well. But yeah, thank you for listening, guys. I hope you've enjoyed We Skeem. Take care.
Yeah, what's gonna happen when you give a crazy mask man the power of a beat that he saw people go off spazzing? I'm wrestling with my art even though I wasn't tagged in. This intro part was better when the people heard his stacks, man. Everybody wants to remix this, show their chops and be a whiz. You know me, I'm not in the biz of acting like the coolest kids. I thought maybe I'd go a minute, spin the way the others spin it. Then I saw they dropped to a minute, so you know I've got to test these limits. Not out despite the firefight inspire me, so flight or fight, I'm flying right into a night of pent-up energy. But I don't see my enemies, no threat to me, so destiny is telling me that I have got to show the world the best of me.
Thank you for listening to the Beats and Bars podcast. I'm your host, BATTL Beats. See you next week.
It's